Hello and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender show. Hope everyone's keeping well out there. And I know it's Friday. Young commentator's supposed to be with us, but I had to cancel due to me having COVID all week. Yes, and I didn't want to pass it on. Come to the end of it. And would you believe, I didn't catch it when it was out last time, but I've caught it this time. It doesn't make sense to me, I think it's a really heavy cold, and that you catch, and then you get a chest infection, don't you, just after it. And that's the way I feel at the moment. It's the runny nose part that I detest. Now, it's mad because we all know when you do a COVID test and it goes up your nose and what have you. I think it's just to, I don't know, it's just having a runny nose that shows that you've got COVID, and it takes 5 days to get rid of. It doesn't make sense, and it goes when your nose is dried up. Well, there you go. Anyway, unfortunately, I had to take time off work because my work is support worker. You have to protect the vulnerable as well. So yeah, to be on the safe side, that's exactly what we did. But work beckons again as I'm getting fitter, fingers crossed, and in a couple of weeks' time I'm off to Cyprus once again to live up the sun, and I'm sorry about that. I've had more summer than most, I suppose. Today has been well, it's a fab day, isn't it? And we've got to make the most of it, and tomorrow's not too bad, but let's just hope that we can have an Indian summer, so everyone benefits. And do you know what, I'd love it over the Christmas period if it was red hot like this. I really would. I know people, oh no, it's got to be snowing and all that, but let's just fingers crossed we don't get these floods and a poor winter, because we haven't had a really good summer at all. You know, the kids, them being off, yeah, okay, some of it was dry towards August, but it wasn't too good. We've had more rain this year than any other year, and I must admit it's been tough for the kids. Let's just hope the rainy season has gone, because we know what happens. Kids are sort of like being cooped up because they haven't been able to get away really. They're going on days out, they've got a shelter anyway. Now they've got back to the school now, unfortunately. That's why the kids aren't here tonight, because I did say to them, look, I'm at the end of COVID. I'm just going to make sure that you are protected. I don't want to give you COVID in your first day or week back at school, and we're going to have a catch up next week. We're going to have a quick show. Dan and Jaden have already committed to it, so at least we'll have two of our young commentators back, and we just want to, well, they'll be about 6 foot on tall each now, and they really are grown. They were this big, you know what I mean, when we got them, and they're absolutely brilliant. And obviously I want them to publicise what we're doing, don't we, in grassroots football. Remember, this is us, this is what we're trying to do. Paying too much in grassroots football, we all know we are. And it's unfortunate to those vulnerable people, disadvantaged children. You know, we need to support everyone, because I'm in conversations, and I'd love your thoughts on this, please. You coaches, managers, committee members, regarding signing on fees. And I know there's many charging signing on fees, and I'm just a bit baffled, I really am. If you've got a sponsor for your club, your team, we pay for the kit, that's brilliant. Then you have your subs, and it all depends what subs you are paying. How much you're paying towards the season. Some teams, some clubs are charging 12 months without a break. I couldn't do that. I really couldn't do that, you know, because they say, oh, teams are training right the way through. Well, what happens when the kids go away, 2-week holiday? That should be end of. They've got enough to pay out. You should give them a 2-week break at least, you know, from subs. It's money going into the clubs, and I'm baffled. All this money, it's not the Premier League. It really isn't the Premier League. I don't agree with a lot of money that's going into clubs at the moment, you know what I mean? I really don't. I always publicise and push for volunteers. Volunteers should be given free courses by your county FAs, your FAs, which, you know, consist of the DBS checks, also your safeguarding. I do believe everything should be free towards them because they are paying out their own pockets and the training. Now, if the club is paying coaches, then there shouldn't be a sign-on fee. There shouldn't be, you know, because you can't. This is kids football. It's not a professional business. It really isn't. So if your living is a coach, that by all means, obviously that's your living. You should be getting paid for it. But I don't think you should charge a signing-on fee for a club to pay out if you're self-employed. I really don't, you know, because I think volunteers, you know, parents are throwing money left, right and centre. I know it benefits the children, but how many of those kids, and they've admitted a small percentage of children will make it to the big time. So what are the kids going? Yeah, it's enjoyment, it's fun. That's what it should be. So the majority of kids will not make it in the big time, and there's only a small percentage. Not every club will have that small percentage there, are there? Only a certain amount of clubs, yeah, it may be the kids have gone to an academy, doesn't mean that they're going to go and be a fully pledged footballer, so, you know, professional footballer. It's not. It doesn't make sense. So you've got to take that into account. You really have. You've got to make it fun for the kids, and hopefully, a percentage of your children in that club will make it. Now, the majority of kids who probably will make it are run by academy players, you know, professional, you know, Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, people like that who are really putting UEFA A coaches into place because they believe in what those kids have got. Now you wouldn't find the majority of kids who are in ordinary clubs, and ordinary clubs are just your Saturday, Sunday league clubs. You wouldn't find probably those players coming out of those clubs because they're all in the academies already. So that percentage then, if you're not in an academy, I don't believe, how do we say this, that you have not got the potential to make it. So I think we should look at other bands here, whereas academy kids who can play in Saturday and Sunday leagues, if they've got a letter, should be treated a little bit more in a different brand, in a bracket, shall I say, like a level of players that they are. They're in high level teams. So all these high level teams are coming from academies. Now, if you've got 5 academy players in a team, then that is telling there's a small percentage, isn't it, of them, a little bit better percentage of them making it into the big time than the other kids who aren't in an academy and haven't been picked up. So let's look at it in that sense. You know, are these the kids who are going to just say, they're only there to enjoy themselves, they're having fun? Or do we do that exactly the same to the higher level kids? They're only in it to have fun. Or do we see potential in them that they think, wow, these are going to make it to the big time? And I think the majority of people out there in grassroots football know where they're coming from. You know, you've got to look after all kids. You really have. And if you're bracketed in a team that doesn't have any academy kids in it, then there's no potential of you going, or those kids going to make it in the big time, is there? Or is there? We have league developers, we know that. And I think you know where I'm coming from. The kids are taken away by Liverpool's, your Everton's, your Man United's, Man City's. If they're academy players, aren't they? Wigan's, your Crews, they're all in their academies, Prestons. It's what these kids want, it's what the parents want, it's what they're paying for, and they will go above and beyond, I know, to pay that money out. And they're in a slightly better bracket. They're looked after more, aren't they? The academy kids. So you can understand where I'm coming from with this. We're looking after kids. Kids are there to enjoy themselves. They go into junior football leagues and they play the games, and hopefully at the end of the season they've got a trophy. The team have done well and they've won a trophy, like I did with my club my two teams last year. They both won trophies, and that's great. That's fantastic. Now step down from that. I'm out of that game. Will they ever make the big time? That's up to the kids. The kids can develop. No one's saying no, those kids can't develop, and you can only bring the best out of them. But kids, you know, when you have a footballer in front of you, you really, really do. And I've seen plenty of them. I really have. And that's what your scouts are looking for. You can see the potential, the way the brain works on a child in football. You know, we all know a kid can go into a classroom and be brilliant at maths, English. You know that that's their forte, they're cut out for that. You can just see it, and you can just see, even the teachers can read their homework knowing, wow, very, very clever child, to, you know, the average level children. You can see the difference and all that. So they'd be put in different brackets, wouldn't they? And they know, teachers would know, well, they're going to pass, these may fail. And that's exactly the same as grassroots football, I suppose. We all have a development, we all have a skill. You've got to bring the best skills out of those kids, and that's what teachers are there for as well. And we're all there to do it. But in grassroots football, it's costing a lot of money to get there. It really is. Thankfully, imagine if you did charge the kids in school. You know what I mean by that? Wow, they're on a different level. Let's charge the parents more money to put them in a higher bracket and push them through more exams. Because that's the way it's going, that really is. The kids are all paying for everything that happens in, and we're saying it's development football. Development, wow, costing a fortune, costs a fortune to put a child in a junior football team now. You know, if you haven't got a sponsor to buy the kits, it's a lot of money, it really is. And you've got to take that in perspective, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to look for more funding pots through the government, and we've asked them, could we, you know, appeal to the Premier League? Can we have a pot, can we have a kitty run by grassroots football itself? You know, rather than, I look at governing bodies and I do, you know, you like the county FAs, they have their own officers, they're paying millions for, they're a business. They have function rooms, they're bringing in cash that way. They have pitches, 3G, they're bringing in cash that way. They've got full-time staff, so it tells you it's a big business, so they have to charge more money. To me, it's all coming from the parents, all the kids who want to play football and have some sort of enjoyment. So let's cut costs, and that's all we're trying to do, get people to cut the costs in grassroots football and bring the price down. You know, is everyone ready for their new leagues? I think some leagues will start Sunday. Some leagues may start on the Saturday. So we wish all those teams all the very, very best for the new season. But I know there's been teams folding before the start of the season. I do know that. And also what's going to happen midway through the season, because price rises. We've got the energy bills coming up now as well. Big government price rises, we know that, and the budget has been told that we're all going to be paying for it really. It's going to be a painful budget. So we're looking at grassroots football, we're looking at bringing costs down, and that's what we want to do, and we want more people to sign our petition. We've got to rally the government, we've got to say to them, you know, this is kids football, it's fun. We need more pitches, we need more grass pitches, and we need them looking after as well. Under soil heating, that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? You know, that'd be brilliant. Well, why not? You've got the money that they have, because they're building these hubs and there's businesses taking over them, which are charitable trusts. and there's no concessions, there's no money coming back into the kids, into grassroots football. You know, they have gyms as well on these hubs, making a fortune because they can give out free places in gyms. I've noticed that, but they don't give out free places in grassroots football. Does anyone know where I'm coming from? Do we all support? And I know the majority of people who don't sign a petition, they're the ones who are happy with the prices because they're probably involved in it some way, thinking, yeah, we're making this much money, this is great, this is doing our business the world of good. They don't want to sign a petition. And, you know, I know who will sign and who won't sign my petition. And, you know, I've been in grassroots football long enough to know what signatures and what signatures would sign, excuse me, my petition. Not my petition in particular, it's from, excuse me, Don't Cross the Line. Now I'm getting an itchy cough. Apologies, this is what COVID does bring, unfortunately. So, yeah, you can see who signed the petition, and I know, honestly, I'll talk to people and say, yeah, I signed your petition. You know they haven't signed a petition. You know they haven't. But slowly but surely, the petition will pick up. We will get 100,000 signatures, I know, but it takes time, and it's not seeing everyone, and the petition will come fly through space when it's on social media. In other words, it takes its time to land, and then people will see it. We want people to sign it, and then share it. If you could, get your friends to sign it, and bring in these 100,000 signatures as quickly as we possibly can. But there's no rush, I'm laid back. People can look at it and go, oh, there's only 300 signatures on that. 300, that's 300 people who agree with what I'm saying. Now, that will go obviously into the thousands soon, and we know it, because it's hitting the right people. And it's not just here on Merseyside, it's nationwide. It's a nationwide petition. So wherever you are, have a look at it, because you're all getting these hubs, and you all understand what I'm talking about is when the hubs can turn around and charge £51 per hour for an under fives, quarter pitch, 1 hour, £51, and you could only have 5 kids, so work that out, work it out the cost. To me, it's just a bit too extreme, and I know all clubs want to make money and look after coaches and pay the coaches. You know, fantastic, fantastic. But if that's the case, are the coaches full time? Is it declared work? Like referees? It's not. It's. I know plenty of coaches who do it all for nothing, and I was one of them myself. And I know there's Col Fulton, T and me, many years put in there, not a penny, and raising funds to keep kids playing football, to get them kits, supplying them, and you know, this is all old school. We're all there, we're all still there. Don't Cross the Line is a CIC, it's a community interest company. This is why we're doing this petition. The petition, everything will go back into grassroots football. We want to make a difference to all. We want to make sure that everyone is singing off the same song sheet and making a difference. And unfortunately, I'm going to need a bottle of water very shortly, because yes, talking for a little bit longer than I have done all week is making the chest itch a little bit more. So, it's what it's all about. Can everyone support what we're doing with DXTL? Sign a petition, make a difference, and let's cut the costs in grassroots football. No one's having a grudge against anyone who's making money out of football. What I'm trying to say, if you're a professional coach, great, that's it, the way it is. Professional referee, great, making the money, that's the way it should be, that's the way it is, that's your job, that's your line of work, you're paying your taxes, earn your money, and that's what we're saying. But there's some clubs far too extreme, too much money coming out into governing bodies. Cut the costs, let disadvantaged children benefit. Majority of kids we've just been talking about will not make it into the big time. So they're only playing football for as long as they can. Excuse me. So let's all enjoy the game while we can. In the meantime, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. From myself, Marlene, all the team at the Grassroots, Joe, Don't Cross the Line, Respect Programme, Heart of Gold initiatives, DXTL push the lower cost grassroots football, sign a petition, and no ref, no game. We'll be back again tomorrow evening, round about 6 p.m. So for myself, have a great evening. Good night, God bless.